So I've neglected my personal build a little bit, but now I've decided to dedicate 1 week a month. I'll just be purely working on my own build. The next step is to design and fabricate the fuel tank. It will start life off with a foam that I will shape to the desired shape, and then once I'm happy with the angle and all the shapes, then I will manufacture it out of aluminium. So it's been another week of putting some time aside to work on my personal build. Managed to get to the tail section, so I'm designing a tail section that's sleek but also exposed to the exhaust, so it stands out. So that's where we're at for now. The next step I've got to do is I've taken MX style bars, which I'm actually going to machine sleeves over to bring this to a 1-inch diameter for all our controls that we have that are Harley, which is 1 inch. So I'm going to manufacture that and the risers, and that will be my next on my goal.
Barry, so welcome to Oil and Grind. This is the start of the new addition to Stoos Customs.
It's an honor, man. I'm happy to be here.
I must say, the one thing that caught my attention when I saw you roll up today was I thought you were on fire at first, but I realized there's just the smoke billowing out and you had a pipe in your mouth. How's this possible?
It seems I'm one of the only guys that smoke pipe while I'm on the bike. It's something I really love. In the past, this little cap wasn't on there, so all the ash used to go into my face. I'm like, there must be a better way.
Yes.
And being part of a pipe club, actually, believe it or not, one of the old professors gave me this. So I can put in some tobacco, get on my bike, and then hit the road, and I can smoke up to 45 minutes if I have to on it.
So you got an assortment of pipes. Obviously, this one is particularly just for riding.
Yes, you'll see this is quite a bigger bowl, that's how it is, so I can go a bit longer.
Okay.
And then I've got like a pirate pipe, Popeye. So this will be like when I'm at work and on a quick break, and it's also pocket pipe. So I just put it in my pocket, and then I'm off.
Yes.
And then obviously you also get Craftsman, which is like this beautiful pipe, which is made by Charles Gosard. He's one of the best pipe makers.
Okay.
And it's got a beautiful briar and a tooth there. And it's just one of those guys, it's nice to support local craftsmen as
100%.
well. And this is my favorite pipe actually.
There was one you fabricated. You actually went on a course to learn how to manufacture a pipe.
Yeah, so Shaw also, because I have to learn how to make a simple one. So you'll see we made this one, actually being a friend, but it's my first one, so I had to do it. But it smokes, like the one guy says, if it's got 2 holes, it's a pipe, so yeah.
So you're a man of many talents, and now I can see where the name Ink Pirate came from. You're a pirate rolling down the street on your bike.
Definitely, and the ink part is the art part of what I do. Yes.
That's how we actually found out about you. I remember when you sent me a picture of the R18 we built, and it's phenomenal. I want to call it pointillism, which I know is something else, but the work is insane.
Way back as a child, I inherited steel nibs. Back in the day when they still used to write and you had to dip the nib in the ink.
Yes.
So I inherited these nibs and I didn't know what they were. So I had to learn it was nibs to write with, but then I found out that you can draw with it. And that's where the fascination started. And this is an art that was usually used in the past, like 1800s, later on, and only black and white.
Yes.
And the techniques are different, but the detail is what I love about it. I only work in black and white, and also the hours can take anything from 60 to 200 hours, but that is the part that I like. It's the time it takes. It's the detail that you have to do. And I think it's worth it. Unfortunately, 200 hours to put a price to that usually struggles as an art piece because for let's say A3, let's say it takes 70 hours, usually the price doesn't fit the amount of work.
But that's the crazy thing about art is eventually you get somebody that loves your product, buys it and resells it, and then suddenly the price skyrockets through the roof.
I think the important thing about what I found is that the paper I use only supposed to be 100% cotton.
Okay.
Because I phoned the paper archives and they said, listen, cotton paper is the best because it keeps the ink and it can be preserved for hundreds of years.
And is it still like the base of the ink, is it still very similar to what they used many years ago?
It's definitely a bit different.
Okay.
I use black Indian ink. They used to make it from an oak tree. There's an insect that stings the fruit.
Yes.
And it makes a blackish powder that they used to cook up. So I only use permanent Indian ink because that infuses with the cotton paper. and it just gives the best black, and
Yes.
it works. And the archival values of that is just incredible.
Sure, that is awesome. It's so good to see people doing this because literally it's a dying art. Unfortunately, and that's why I'm interviewing here today, was you lost all your artwork in your studio burnt down, eh?
Actually, the evening that I finished the R18 artwork, it was a beautiful evening. I signed it and I went to sleep, and about an hour later, something woke me up and I saw a fire in the garage.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, yeah, my studio, my artwork, and the exhibition I was planning, everything burned out.
And you're saying it had about 20 years of your life in that studio.
Well, everything I inherited, you know,
man.
like, because I grew up on a battalion, a military base when I was growing up until I was 9.
Yeah.
All the stuff I inherited from my dad was also in there, so that all burned out.
Man, that's
Tough
crazy.
times.
Yeah. Is there particular subjects you like to draw or paint?
Well, mostly I like mechanical things, or if you dream up, like steampunk is a good
Yes.
example. And I've done a few different things, like I've done wildlife. I worked with charities where I did a vulture, or I did a specific, like, for rhino poaching.
Yes, I remember you mentioning about the rhinos.
Yes.
Save the rhinos.
Yeah, so I did something out of a lot of poaching equipment.
Okay.
And that was one part. And I also love robotics, which I did a big robot with a kid with a remote control that controls it. And I also do a lot of fantasy art where I take anything and just put it together. It's like I did a specific old train that I found picture of,
Yeah.
and a coffee machine. So I did those, I combined it, and I've got a big steampunk coffee machine portrait that hangs in our office at the moment.
Awesome.
I only do black and white. And mostly where my love for steampunk or military stuff or things came from was where I grew up in the military base, where the tanks and the army time, that's where
Had
the
a lot of
helicopters, yes. And it was just a brilliant time as a kid. Thankful I was a kid in the war times, but it's just all of those combined, my life stories and everything, you can see in my work.
I can see that, especially the level of your skills, you're going to go far, man. And I really hope to do some more bikes with you with the artwork and incorporate it into builds, because your talent is awesome, man.
That's why I brought you a print of the one.
Oh man, okay, that's awesome, man.
So I'll sign it for you
Oh, please.
with the nibs, the
Yeah.
technique that I use, and then you can keep it and do with it what you want.
I've been, obviously with the new space, we've been trying to figure out artwork, and my brother-in-law, who I'm going in partnership with, we've gone through all these different images, and actually, funny enough, you sent it like, I think 4 or 5 days after we were discussing what we're going to put on the wall. And we've both decided that the R18 is going to get hand painted on the wall, so for the world to see.
That is brilliant. What an honor to have that done. Thank you.
And I'd love you to sign this, and then once this is up, sign the bottom of that artwork.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Shots.
Pleasure, man.
Morning guys, welcome. Lightning Bolt 2022.
So we're just day one of the Lightning Bolt. We just got back from the test ride. There were 12 competitors and the bikes are absolutely on point. There's a mixture from Joburg, PE, but the talent we have in South Africa is phenomenal. Luckily, everything went well on my bike. I'm going to have a meeting with the judge shortly just to tell them everything I've done on my bike. And then that's day one wrapped up.
How's the competition looking today?
It's very good, I must say. We think we have the most character of any motorcycle here, but there's a silver BMW at the bottom there that, I don't know, the build quality on that and the hand rolling is just absolutely stunning.
And if you could vote for the winner here today, who would it be?
There's a black one just up there that's quite a cool one. The guy welded the exhaust. It's an amazing piece of art.
So do you have a winner in mind?
I think the BMW clad it in aluminium is going to do it. I think the amount of hours going into building something like that is phenomenal, and not everyone's taste, but I think the absolute artisan that builds something like that.
Okay, so yeah, as you can see, there's a lot happening. The lightning bolt's been a great success this year, full of enthusiasts. There's a lot happening. We've got great bands, good music, good food, good booze. So it's been a successful event, regardless of the outcome. So yeah, it's been an amazing day out at the House of Machines. Here at Stoos Customs, we're all about the craft. In future episodes, we would like to feature other craftsmen in their trade. If this is something that interests you, drop us a mail at info@stooscustoms.com.